So you're talking to your authors every week. That's got to be a busy week. What does your average day and your average week look like?
Oh, Rob, I don't know. I don't know what my average day or week looks like, because I have so many different types of clients who are wonderful. And, some of them I do speak with every week. Some of them I speak with bi-weekly, sometimes on alternating weeks. We have different phases of a campaign that we'll be in. So, perhaps during the active release phase, we're talking like every other day. But then during the long lead, like 8 months out phase, we don't need to talk that often, maybe once or twice a month. So what does my average week look like? Well, typically on Mondays, I'll spend a little bit of time in the mornings doing my update reports. So that's just recapping for my clients, sort of what the past week looked like. That might include bullet points about, team brainstorms and new angles that we came up with, or researching new contact lists in different areas. So just like we talked about how there might be like layered target markets for a book, maybe one week we're going after the sort of like arts and entertainment guides space, but the next week we're really going to target Southern media because the book is set in the South, or the next week we're going to target romance bloggers. So we sort of fragment out what target markets we're hitting. That will be reflected in the update report, as well as people who have expressed interest, requested review copies, digital or physical. The list goes on. So the update report really provides like a snapshot of what was the activity over the past week. So I'll spend a little time on Mondays doing that, maybe have a call or two in the afternoons. Tuesdays, I generally in earnest start pitching. So that's, emailing, and mostly emailing, but sometimes over the phone. It depends.
Tuesday and not Monday?
Because Monday just tends to be an admin day for me.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was some unspoken rule that no one would ever want to look at a new pitch on a Monday, or
No. And often I will pitch on a Monday. I'm just talking about my typical week. My typical week, I'm sort of getting my ducks in a row on Monday and figuring out what my strategy for the week is, and then Monday afternoon, Tuesday, I'll start pitching. And then my week is interspersed with calls with my clients, with scheduling requests for interviews, with providing review copies, or like digital assets, like photos of the author, or book cover JPEG, or coordinating guest posts or op-ed requests. The list goes on. We work on so many different types of things. And then on it goes from there. Really, there is no typical week. I wish sometimes I wish that there was, but for the most part, it keeps me on my toes, and I wouldn't trade it.
Something I think that people don't necessarily appreciate is that any coordinated appearance, for just the most basically any podcast episode, certainly involves a minimum of at least about 3, usually closer to 10 emails, somewhere in the middle. And each one of those takes a little bit of time to sit down and write. And that's, just people getting in touch with me and getting the information back and forth that they need. So I can't imagine if you're doing that. How many authors are you on average representing at a given time and who have active projects?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really depends. As a company, we sort of have averages. Like, I think our publicists sort of average between 2 to 5 at maximum clients at a time, authors that they're working on at any given time. But that depends on the publicist, and it depends on the nature of those projects as well. So sort of the level of intensity involved, obviously our fees range depending on how much we're devoting. So some projects are sort of weighted differently than others. I might only be working on 2 projects, but they're both super high profile, high maintenance, high energy, high attention projects. Or I might be working on 5, which are more sort of basic, standard package type campaigns where we have very clearly defined roles and to-dos. So the different types of projects for different types of authors, or different styles of campaigns. Another consideration, and one of the great things about Smith and my team, and our executive team, is our founder Dan Smith is male. We are a very female oriented company. Virtually all of our publicists, with the exception of one, who is our vice president, Mike, are female. And we have a lot of working moms, and we have a lot of diversity on our team in terms of capacity. And we have long been a company that we have a head office in New Jersey, but even our staff who works at our head office work from home a couple days a week. Now we all work from home all the time with COVID. So, some of us like working more accounts than others, or work more accounts at different stages in our life. So, a colleague who's going on mat leave soon is going to be on a slightly reduced campaign load than me, who is hanging out up here in Toronto with my cat. And I love to keep busy, so.
And I assume the ideal situation is you build a relationship with an author. You're not going to represent them for one book. You're going to represent them over a career, right?
That's right. Yes. And we are so fortunate that we have so many return and repeat clients. I have one right now who I'm working with on his fourth or fifth book now, and that's an ongoing long-term relationship, and it's like I wouldn't let any of my colleagues touch him. It's like that one is mine. So yeah, absolutely, which can sort of change things a little bit in the account load department, right? Because when we have a returning client who we love, and we become very close with our authors and our clients. I've made some wonderful friends over the years. Some of my best friends are people who I've represented at some point or another do. And that can get tricky, because then it's like, oh, I already have 4 accounts right now, but then oh, Robert has a new book coming out. Okay, I got to jump on that one. So it's always a balancing act, for sure.